Everyone, please welcome to the stage Lisa Corless.
So at the age of 13, I started my love affair with the insurance industry. And I know that sounds dramatic, and what isn't when you're 13, but hear me out. It was true when I was 13, and it is true as I stand here today talking to all of you. So in the summer of 1978, and for all you math people there, don't be doing the math in your head. Brittany, stop it. So in the summer of 1978, my dad came to me and he said, hey, you want to earn some extra money this summer? And of course, I was 13, there was makeup to buy, there were clothes to buy. Of course I wanted to work for my dad. At the time, I didn't know exactly what he did. I knew his title. He was president and CEO of the Farmers Alliance. I had no idea. I thought, you know, it had something to do with farming. But I went to work for my dad. And during that summer, one of the tasks that I was given was to go into the file room and match mail to the file. Now, I know a lot of you in the audience have only been in the industry since there have been computers, but I'm going to take you back to 1978. I know there are some people in this room that know what I'm talking about. So back in the day, there were file rooms that were probably, you know, a quarter the size of this room right here. And there were shelves on the wall, and then there were lines of shelves with paper files. Some of those paper files were this big, some were this big, some were 3 or 4 volumes. So my dad wanted me to match the mail to the physical file. And so the mail was about this tall. I sized it up and I looked at it and I said, it'll take me a couple of hours. But my dad said, here's what I want from you, Lisa. Don't just drop the mail into the files that they belong in. I want you to take those claim files and I want you to put them in chronological order from the oldest to the newest. It's what we did. It's what we did. Yes, there's some people here who know what I'm talking about. So I thought it was dreadful. I thought insurance was boring. I thought this was a horrible task my dad had given to me. But what happened in that file room literally changed the trajectory of my life, because what I saw was contained within those files were stories. They were stories about people. They were people who suffered loss, tragedy, unimaginable events. And what I saw time after time was that the people that worked for my dad stepped in and they said, it's okay, we got this. We're going to take care of you. We're going to help you through this. We're going to do everything in our power to make you whole. And so that's how I developed my passion for the business of insurance. And it cemented in my mind how critical passion is to living a life that's fulfilled. And so what are you passionate about? You know, some people are passionate about a hobby. Some are passionate about charitable causes. Others, and many of you, are passionate about what we do every day. I was, you know, in such admiration of the people that I did the speed networking with, and I had a little opportunity to connect, but passion came up in three of the sessions, and I thought, this is so remarkable. People here really believe in what they're doing. And so think about it for a minute. Your passion can change events. We are all here because of someone's passion. Amy Cooper's passion. In 2017, when she took a look around and said, you know what, there's not a space for young professionals to network. This is the future of the industry. And she had a passion, and her passion has ignited something in all of us. So never underestimate what your passion can do. We are all here because of one person's incredible passion. It isn't always easy to follow our passions. Sometimes it's very difficult. But from my experience, a life with passion leads to fulfillment. And when you've got fulfillment, you can also find your purpose. So finding purpose sometimes is easy, sometimes it's difficult, and sometimes your purpose kind of changes over time. Not really the purpose, but how you fulfill that purpose. So I'll tell another story. And yes, I'm going to tell a lot of stories, but I'm going to put this out there. I am a grandmother of 4. And when you become a grandmother, you are allowed to tell stories. And for those of you at AF Group that have heard some of these stories, another privilege we get as a grandparent is we can repeat stories as much as we want and nobody gets to say anything. So I will tell you the story of finding my purpose in an unexpected way. So as an adult, I went back and got my MBA. I went to the University of Texas, hook 'em horns. I know we got some Texans in here. So I went back to UT and I got my MBA. I started in 2012, but in 2013, I was really enjoying it. It was difficult, but I was really, just learning so much, and I was getting to know such great people. And some of the other students that were in my cohort just impressed me so much. They were so passionate. They were so driven. They had purpose. And as I looked at them, I was so happy for them, but I was kind of introspective, and I thought, I don't feel anymore like I have that passion in me. I don't feel like I'm fulfilling my sense of purpose. And it scared me a little bit. I talked to my husband about it and I said, I feel a little bit stagnant. I feel like I'm not moving forward. I feel like I have another chapter. I feel like I can grow more. And at first he just kind of blew it off, and then he really listened to me. It was especially scary because I was the sole breadwinner at the time. We had just adopted 2 daughters, 2 teenage daughters from Colombia who came to the country, did not speak any English, and my husband agreed to stay at home and be a full-time parent to them. So I was the sole breadwinner, which scared me even more. But after many conversations with my husband, I decided to take a bold move, and I quit my job. I quit my job with no other job and with no leads. And I joined a few of my fellow students, and we went to Africa. And we were in Africa for several weeks, and we worked with the West African AIDS Foundation. We worked with some entrepreneurs in Ghana. We helped them get their product into Whole Foods. It was so fulfilling, I can't even begin to tell you. People told me I was crazy when I quit. They said, "What are you doing?" And this was family, this was friends, this was people that I worked with. They said, "Don't you know C-suite jobs don't grow on trees?" I was a COO at a moderately based Texas company, and I did know that, but I also knew I wasn't doing myself any favors, and I also wasn't doing any favors to the people that I worked with. It was time for me to go. And so I returned from Africa, and I had a renewed sense of excitement and passion and purpose, and I was ready to try something new. Fortunately for me, while I was gone, word had gotten out that I was on the market, and I was very blessed, but companies were reaching out, carriers, TPAs, recruiters, and so I was able to kind of explore and see what I wanted to do. I got 4 job offers, but the one that really tugged at my heart was in Michigan. It was more than 1,100 miles away from my home in Austin, Texas, but I knew this was the place that I belonged. When I went into the building, I felt the energy. Every single person that I met with impressed me. I just was so excited about the values that they purported, the things that they were doing, so I knew it was for me. I went to my husband and said, okay, we have these 4 offers, and some are closer to home, and one was further than even Michigan. But I said, I really want to do this job in Michigan. And my husband, who is an amazing person, said to me, "You've come this far. You've gotten yourself here. Trust yourself. Go with your gut and do what you think is going to make you happy." And the rest is history. That was almost 10 years ago, and it is the best career decision that I've ever made. And you might think that I'm saying that because of my title. That is not why I'm saying that. I am saying it because I get to work with incredible people every single day, people that I admire, people that challenge me, and people that help me live out my passion and fulfill my purpose. So, sometimes you have to take a leap of faith to really fulfill your purpose and your passion. So I am not telling you guys to quit your job. What I did was crazy. I wouldn't do it now. So I am not telling you. That is not my advice for the evening. Please don't let that show up on social media. So find it. You find your passion, you find your purpose, and then the road is going to be easy, right? No. The road is not going to be easy. There are always going to be difficulties, but during the difficulties, that is when we grow. You know, if things are always rocking along smooth, yeah, it feels great, but we're not learning, we're not moving forward, we're not growing. So when you've got challenges, that's when we learn the lessons. That's when we develop as a person. That is when we develop as leaders. I'll give you another story that kind of relates to the next P, which is perseverance. It was a surprise P that showed up. It's not one that was in my write-up, so it's a bonus P, but perseverance. So you need to persevere even when times are difficult. And so as thought about what I would share for perseverance, I think I'm going to share with you guys my most colossal and most expensive failure, because it required that I persevere and that my team persevere. And so going back to 2001, my very first executive job, I was the vice president of claims. And pretty soon after I took that job, meeting with the team, we knew we needed a new medical bill review system. And so we said, okay, we're going to replace the bill review system. I was going to be the executive sponsor. I'd never been an executive sponsor before. And so got a great team together. We worked together. It was almost a year before we were ready to go live. So the big day came and we went live. And it was a disaster. The system did not work. And to give you guys a little bit of context, prior to the bill review implementation, we had been processing about 2,500 to 3,000 bills a day. After the system went live, we were processing about 200 a day with 3 times the number of people processing bills. You'd process it once. I know, I was processing bills. It would go through the system, then the same bill would come up multiple times. It was a nightmare. The team was stressed. Our agents were mad. Our policyholders were mad. The regulators were breathing down our throat. To recover, it took 6 months, 6 long months. Reputational damage took longer than that. I was really proud of the team that stayed with it. We didn't have a single person quit. But at the end of the day, when we were back up and running again, I decided to do something that the elite fighter pilots do. And fighter pilots, after they've done a flight, they will do something they call nameless, rankless debrief. And what that is everybody sits around in a circle and they talk about what could have gone better. What could have gone better that they did. There's no finger pointing, but they just talk about what went well and what could have gone better. And so I did that. And there's no retaliation in a nameless, nameless, rankless debrief. Easy for me to say. There's no retaliation. You know, nobody gets frowned upon for you know, calling out the truth. So I met with everyone on the project team, and person after person after person told me, you know, I saw some issues, and I didn't say anything to you because I figured somebody else was telling you. And it was then that I knew exactly what I had done wrong. And what I had done wrong was I got all my information on how the project was going from one person. And that one person was fabulous. She was so good at what she did, but she offered one perspective. Had I been interested in diversity of thought, in hearing from everybody, we probably could have avoided that. So the blame was on me. A very, very difficult lesson, but it literally changed the way that I lead. I now seek out diverse and opposing perspectives. And so for all of you, I'm sure you've faced challenges in your career. I hope and pray that none of you have one as expensive or colossal as I did. But if you do, know that you can persevere. You can make it through. And on the other side, you can look back and say, wow, that was tough. But I learned a lot. And there were so many other people who helped me get through that. And so all of this leads up to what is, in my view, the most important element of success, and that is people. People can help us find our passion, people can help us live out our purpose, and people will stand beside you as you are trying to persevere through all of life's difficulties, through work difficulties, through life difficulties. You know, one of the huge benefits of this event has been the ability for you guys to network with each other. And I hope you're all taking tremendous advantage of that, because these people, everyone here is here because they were either hand-selected by their company or they believed enough in themselves to say, I deserve this, I am going here. All of you are special. You are the talent of today and you are the leaders of tomorrow. So please get to know each other. These faces will be around for years to come. You know, when I think about what a big industry it is, but it really isn't. It's also a very small industry. And those of us who've been in it for a long time know those circles really are smaller than they think, or than you think. So build those relationships. You know, another thing that I love about this event and talking to all of you and young people in the insurance industry as a whole is that you have required the industry to do something about the lack of diversity in the insurance industry. You have said, we are not going to accept less. You need to talk about it, but then you need to do something about it. And so when I think about the future of our industry, I have such excitement and such hope because of what you all are doing. You can see the winds of change. Things have changed because of young people in this industry, and what's going to be done in the future is even more incredible. But one thing that we need to do as we're promoting diversity, as we're working with other people, is show up authentically. And it's not always easy to show up authentically, but there are ramifications if you don't. So I have another story. I'm a grandma. I'm entitled. My story is a time when I did not show up authentically. So I was promoted to Chief Operating Officer in 2009, and I was so excited. It was my first C-suite job, and I was just beside myself excited. And the gentleman who had the COO role before had been promoted to president, and he was somebody who was a mentor and advocate for me, so I was excited about that as well. Unfortunately, the week before we were both to assume our positions, his wife was diagnosed with a terminal cancer. And so he took a leave of absence, which is absolutely what he needed to do. He needed to be there for her. But what that meant, I was already nervous about taking over the COO role. But what that meant is, overnight, I became COO and acting president. And I am here to tell you, I did not know what I was doing. I had no idea, and I was terrified. I was like, I just don't know how I'm going to handle this. I don't know. I had all these groups reporting to me that had never reported to me before. And I thought, I know how to handle this. He was such a great CEO or COO. I will do everything the way that he did it. And so I ran the meetings like Ron did. I talked to people like Ron did. I sent those emails that sounded almost as if he could have written them himself. And it went over like a big fat lead balloon. And so I didn't know what was going wrong. I was like, why is the team not more cohesive? Why are we not moving forward on the projects? And so I did the only thing I knew what to do. I pulled my team together and I said, what on earth is going on with you guys? We are not a cohesive team. Things aren't moving forward. And so they hemmed and they hawed, and there was a lack of eye contact. Nobody would look at me. And then finally, one brave soul said to me, Lisa, it's you. And I was like, me? What do you mean, me? And she said, why are you acting this way? It's weird and it's fake. And I knew right then that in my desire to be the boss and be the right kind of boss, I forgot who I was. And I also forgot that I have people that I need to lead. And these are people who are smart people. They will see right through a lack of authenticity. And so it taught me that, I just need to be myself. And sometimes I look at other people and I'm like, wow, I wish I could be as eloquent as her. I wish I could be as analytical as him. I wish I could communicate like this person does. But the reality is, I can admire what they bring to the table without feeling like I have to pretend to be them, to be worthy, and to be okay. So I would just encourage you guys, you have something special to offer this industry, to offer this world. Never think that you are not good enough, and never underestimate what you can bring to the table. You will never realize your passion or achieve your purpose if you are pretending to be somebody else or something that you are not. And you also should surround yourself by people who will call you out. I'm so grateful that she had the courage to tell me, it's you, Lisa, it's not us, it is you. So surround yourself by people that you can trust. And so that is one of the reasons why at AF Group our guiding principle is people first, and Amy alluded to that. And it's something that we use to kind of hold each other accountable. We need to show up authentically. We need to embrace diversity. We need to make it our job to make it an inclusive environment. It keeps us grounded. We are in the business to serve others, and we are also in the business to serve our coworkers and take care of each other and be there for one another. And as I've listened and talked to so many of you in the room, I see that that's how you all are conducting your business as well. And like I said before, it gives me such excitement and hope for the future of the industry. You all are making a difference already. When you think about it, 50% of the industry will be retired by 2035. Think about that. 50%. That's only 12 years from now. And for those of you doing the math, yeah, okay, I'm going to be 70 in 2035. I will be long gone. And so will many of the leaders, and you all will take over. And even though I will be retired and sitting with my grandkids, hopefully on the beach, I will also be watching this industry. I will be watching you guys because, like I said, my love affair started at a young age, and it will continue on until I'm gone. But I will be watching you guys because I know you will innovate, you will disrupt, you will insist that we are inclusive and that we are diverse and that we are the kind of industry that so many people want to join. And it's going to be your actions, and I will be watching. So don't underestimate what you can do. So as I close tonight, I do want to say congratulations to each of you for being here. Like I mentioned before, people thought you were special. People thought that you needed to be here, and all of my interactions have reinforced that. This is a very special group. I also want to do a quick shout out to my wonderful teammates at AF Group. This is a group of people that inspire me each and every day, and I'm so grateful to get to spend the time with you and get to work with you every single day. I want to also congratulate the award winners. That's it's very exciting. I know that's coming up next. Everybody's excited about that. And finally, Amy, Katerina, Tori, the entire team at RISE. This has been a spectacular event. To the board members, to the mentors, to the advisory panels, you all have done an incredible job. I think everybody should give them a huge round of applause. It's been amazing. It has been absolutely amazing. So thank you all for inviting me. It has been truly an honor for me. Another thing that I'm passionate about is the youth of our industry, and Amy knows me and knows that about me. So for me to be here and have the opportunity to talk with you all and to be able to speak to you tonight, I'm eternally grateful. So thank you all.